Hello everybody, it's another beautiful day here on this Memorial Day. Now normally what I would be doing on Memorial Day is I'd be marching in a parade with my Boy Scout troop. And the guys in my Boy Scout troop would be wearing uniforms to recreate this moment in history where I am today. The War of 1812. Did you know that Buffalo has a small War of 1812 cemetery right by the Buffalo airport? Well, it does. Let's go check it out. We have some markers. Let's take a look at these markers. War of 1812. This is a 150-year marker from 1962. Dedicated June 17th, 1962, to the valor of the American and British soldiers and the peace which has long endured. From the VFW Post 2429, Commander Charles J. Weber. We have some coins there, of course. Displays here. Never forgotten. Indeed, never forgotten. Not just War of 1812 soldiers who died, but all soldiers from all wars who died. This property that we're on, here in Cheektowaga, is owned and maintained by the Buffalo Historical Society. So that's pretty nice. We see a bunch of different flags, even some service flags. And this really neat cannon. A little bit more about the history. This tablet is erected by the Buffalo Historical Society in honor of the American and British soldiers of the War of 1812 who died in the U.S. military hospital at Williamsville, New York, and were buried here in 1814 and 1815. Neat. Looking at one of the graves here, they're unmarked, so there's no name, there's no signification here of who this person is. Well, that really doesn't matter. What matters is that they fought to protect peace on this continent so that we could be alive today, barbecuing, cooking out, enjoying our freedom. So pretty neat. And as you see, we've got white crosses all around. Very small place here. Of course, this area is an important stopping ground in the War of 1812. Of course, we have Fort Niagara, and across the river there we have Fort George in Ontario, where some battles were fought. We also have Fort Erie as well on the other side of on the Canadian border. So a lot of things happening. We have Lake Erie, of course, which where some ships were. So we have some cool history here that maybe a lot of people don't know or don't understand. Definitely worth a visit. If you've never been to Fort Niagara, if you've never been to Fort George, definitely worth a visit. In fact, my Boy Scout troop usually does a camp in September at Fort George where we recreate with Canadian troops, Canadian Scouts rather, recreating Canadian troops, and we as the American troops, and we have some cap battles and stuff like that, and we march through the town and all sorts of stuff. It's really cool. So hopefully we'll be able to do that this year, and it's a really cool thing that we get to do. We get to meet Scouts from Canada as well, but also remember the War of 1812, which was fought around here. Now, from what I understand, the original cemetery has been moved in a little bit, so the boundaries are a little bit different, but for the most part, it's maintained what it was from 1814, 1815, just been moved to accommodate modern life, if you will, and to provide a peaceful place for the repose of these soldiers who died. Now, just back there is where the Buffalo airport is, and if I zoom in, you can see the tail fin of an airplane. Don't know if it's getting ready to take off, or if it's just arrived, or if it's just parked there, but behind that dumpster there, you can see the tail fin of an airplane. And another view through the trees, we can see a couple different planes. We got one right about here. It says up. I think I hear a plane coming in. Don't see anything. one there, and then the one that we saw before off in the distance. So right next to the airport. Yet how many people fly out of here and have no idea that this cemetery is right next to it? From this angle here, you can see the terminal. It's that white slanted building right above those trucks there. That's the terminal into the Buffalo Airport. Wonder how much business it's doing these days. Can't wait to get back on an airplane one day. But that there is the terminal. And another view of the terminal right there, just over that fence, is the terminal to the Buffalo Niagara International Airport. So I decided to stop and get some barbecue at a place called Old Man River back in Tonawanda, and I came over to Isle View Park to eat it. Let's take a look at the view I have first. That's my beautiful view here of the Niagara River. I'm in between the bike path and the walking path. There is a picnic table here in semi-shade, but good enough. Looking nice. Let's see what I ordered. I went with the combo. I got chicken. It's a huge piece of chicken. Ribs, barbecue sauce, cornbread, coleslaw, and this huge container of baked beans. Got some fresh snaps, of course, for the end. And I brought my bottle of water to drink. Now, I will say this was a little bit on the high side. It was altogether with tax, it was $25. But there's definitely a decent amount of food here. So after I eat it, I'll let you know if I think it was worth the $25 or if it should have been maybe a little bit less. But let's dig in. Alright, so we've resanitized, we've got our water. I think we're going to start with a rib. So let's take a look. They look pretty good. Got this barbecue sauce, a lot of barbecue sauce. And they weren't cheap with the barbecue sauce, I can tell you that much. Look at that. That's a decent amount. So put that over there so we don't lose it. Put it into one of these ribs. Got the combo, as I said, chicken and, I mean, they're falling right off the bone. There's a bone. They smell great. They smell smoked. I mean, it's just falling right off the bone. Get some barbecue sauce on there. That's really good. I don't even think it needs the barbecue sauce. It's that good. The barbecue sauce, though, is smoky and sweet. Let's get into these ribs. See if I can get one. And they're just falling right off the bone, and that's what you want. Tender, smoky. I mean, they fell right off the bone, like I said. That's so great. So far, good choice. Again, not evaluating it yet for price, but so far, food's good. It was cool. He sort of went to like a little drive-up place. I kind of put that in here now. And you waited there, and they came out. You told them what you wanted. You gave them your card. They ran it. They brought it out to you, and you left. Couldn't be much better. So I decided to drive down a little bit, find some spots down by the water. Niagara Park was very busy, so I just kept going down towards Isle View. I mean, it's just falling off, tender, great. They are not dry. On my last, I got about 4 out of that one. I think a half was 8, so I got half of this. I got a huge piece of chicken though. So I'm not going to complain about that. These ribs are excellent. I mean, they're just so good. They fell right off the bone. Like I said, it doesn't need the barbecue sauce, but I like the barbecue sauce, so I'm gonna eat the barbecue sauce. That's it for the ribs. I wish I had more. They were so good, but they gave me 3 wet naps, so I'm gonna go ahead and clean up from there and then move to the chicken. Actually, I'm gonna try one of the sides, both sides. There we go. It kind of opened up to like the corners. Okay, let's take a look. I like it's not too mayonnaise-y. Got some pepper. Yeah. It's light and refreshing. Definitely a decent sized container. Especially on a warm day like today. It's nice to have a refreshing, cool, crispy side. Because that's going to go opposite of these big, thinner baked beans. But we're going to try it. Now, in the drive-thru, you were not allowed to substitute, so you got what it came with. You either had your choice of the chicken meal or the rib meal, or you could do the combo, and you were stuck then with the sides, which were coleslaw, baked beans, and cornbread. These look really good. These look really good. They had peppers in there, it looks like. Give it a little kick. Yeah, they're good. Not the best baked beans I've ever had in the world, but they're good. Peppers had a nice little kick to it. It looks like they're just little green peppers, but they had a nice kick. Yeah, but they're good. Of the two, I'd probably pick the coleslaw, which just leaves now the cornbread. You might remember a few weeks ago I made my own cornbread muffins, so it's going to be a tough sell here. But it's excellent. Yep. That's great. Alright, let's get into this chicken. So there's our chicken. Looking good. I'm not going to go with barbecue sauce. Let's get the flavor of the chicken first. It's good. This one definitely needs the barbecue sauce. Not because it's dry or anything, but because once you get through the smoky skin, you get sort of just a chicken flavor, and you want barbecue flavor. Hit the wing here. This is like a half chicken here. There's a lot of food. We're making progress. I'm going to try to finish up this coleslaw. I don't want it sitting out too much longer, so not that I'm worried about it, because it hasn't been that long, but let's just finish it. Alright, so I finished the coleslaw. I'm working on the beans. I stirred them up a little bit more and let them sit and stay out a little bit, you know, without being in their container, so they weren't just steaming. They're actually a lot better than I thought, so these are still pretty good. I like the pepper in it. I'll probably like the coleslaw better, but again, this is good. Does this make up for not being able to gather with family and friends and have a cookout? No, of course not. Is it better than nothing? Yes. What I liked about what they were doing is that a portion of their proceeds were being donated to frontline workers, whatever that means. So, hospital workers, nursing home employees, that's what I'm really rooting for, with the way they're sort of taking a beating right now. I would love to see that go to nursing home workers and help them, but really any of the frontline workers. And so for $25, which was inclusive of tax, I think it was $22.99 before tax, you get a good meal. In fact, you already get 2 meals, but I'm taking the rest home with me. I'm not going to be able to finish it here. I still have a decent amount of this chicken left, like the whole breast piece, essentially. Half of the cornbread. I actually want to do a little bit more of the cornbread here real quick. That's good. Very similar to the one I made. So I have half the chicken left, half the cornbread, and about half the beans. So that'll be good for later. So I got about 2 meals out of it for $25, all inclusive of tax. Not terrible. I still think it's a little on the high side, but I think you got what you paid for. I'm obviously not hungry because I can't even finish it all in one sitting. The ribs were fall off the bone tender. Chicken is smoky and good. The barbecue sauce is flavorful. Cornbread is light and delicious. The beans at first I wasn't too sure about, but I really enjoyed them now. And the coleslaw was cool, crisp, and delicious. So you can't go wrong here. So Old Man River in Tonawanda, right near Mississippi Muds, where I was the other day. Better go ahead and clean up. I got 2 more wet naps. I'll use 1 more now, 1 for later. Then we'll head home and sort of enjoy the rest of this beautiful day as the boat goes by. Well, that worked out pretty good. So got these great water views next to me. Got some leftovers to take home. Got rid of the trash I don't need, some bones, wrappers. Oh, I'm burping, excuse me. Look how beautiful that is. Look how beautiful. All by myself. Niagara River, Grand Island on the other side, Tonawanda on this side. Some bicyclists coming. Look how beautiful. Heading out a little bit closer to the water, I found this little gateway arch, if you will. That's here. Go right down. There's a boat coming. That definitely turned out to be a really great spot. It looks like I'm walking right in the water, doesn't it? But I'm not. But it feels like it. And it definitely feels great to be out and by the water and being able to do stuff like this. The park was mostly empty. I mean, I came across some people, so I don't have my mask on anymore. It's in my bag, but I'm really not coming in anywhere close contact with anyone. Even the bicyclists are a good 20, 30, even 40 feet away from me. So I'm not worried about that. You can hear the boats in the background going through, going by. Love it. Grand Island Bridge is just over here. We'll do a view of that here in a second. Let's go take a look. A nice view here of the bridge. South Grand Island Bridge. From mainland Erie County, if you want, over to Grand Island. Nice view. I'm just kind of walking down this mixed-use bike path, walking path. I'm on the walking path side. I don't think it really is going to matter too much. So you can see the bridge up there and the water right next to us. Another boat, some benches, which this one's definitely just for rest because that's your view. Boats. This was a pretty great idea, I think. You know, getting the food worked out great. Coming down to Isle View Park, not a whole lot of people here. I mean, there's some. But I never really felt I needed to put the mask back on. Even the bicyclists are going by and not even anywhere near you. It's all good. But of course, the only reason we're able to be outside and enjoy this wonderful day is because of all those who are willing to pay the ultimate sacrifice, our military veterans who died in service, missing in action. I have my own connection. Those of you who know me know I have a relative who died in the Civil War fighting for the North and is buried at Arlington National Cemetery in Washington in the original part of the cemetery. Died after, taking some injuries in Spotsylvania, fought at Gettysburg, and a great hero for us. Polish immigrant, someone I'm very proud of. And to his sacrifice and the countless sacrifice of others, including the families, we are able to live in freedom, and hopefully we'll continue to do so for a long time in the future. So with that, I want to give a special shout out to all of our military families. Thank you for your service and sacrifice. God bless America. Have a great day, everybody.